The Hello Kitty case is counted among the most horrific crimes in history. It is a very disturbing case in itself. On May 1999, the three officers were sitting together for lunch at the police station in Tsim Sha Tsui area of Hong Kong, when suddenly a scared 14-year-old Feng comes to them crying. When the officers asked the girl about her problem, all the three officers were stunned to hear her statement. Feng told that for the last few days, a ghost of a girl of about 22 years is scaring her. At first, the police officers were finding it funny to hear the talk of ghosts from the mouth of a 14-year-old girl, but seeing her condition and the fear in her eyes, they were stunned. For a moment, all this seemed more than his imagination, so they started listening to everything he said carefully. This was not like a typical paranormal case because in this, Feng was seeing the ghost of the same girl repeatedly in his dreams for a few days while drinking. Also, the screaming sound of that girl was constantly disturbing him. Not only this, the girl was repeatedly asking Feng to return her head. Whenever he fell asleep, he would get the same dream again and again. The terror became such that Feng was now afraid to sleep too. When every moment of passing in fear became unbearable, he thought of taking the help of the police. At first, the police did not believe Feng's story, but their surprise increased when she said that whatever dreams she was having were not the result of her desire, but were the dark memories of that terrible crime in which she herself was also involved somewhere, and these dreams and screams would stop only when she confessed her crime. Apart from all these things, Feng requested them to accompany him to an apartment, hearing which these confused officers were now surprised. It was beyond the understanding of those police officers that a little girl would say such things, but still they thought that if there is even a little truth in this, then only by going with her the truth will be known. Thinking this, all the three officers went to the place told by Feng. Feng took them to the third floor of a building on Grainville Road in Tsim Sha Tsui. At that time, that area was already infamous due to frequent crimes there. In such a situation, what connection did this 14-year-old girl have with this place? When the police entered that apartment, it was in a very bad condition from inside. All the things were scattered and the smell was so bad that it was difficult to stand even for a moment. It was a very dirty and smelly flat. The blood-soaked walls and the bar tub were telling the story of the brutality that happened in the flat. Then, on Feng's request, the first thing that the police found there was a famous stuffed toy doll from Japan, Hello Kitty. Yes, a doll. You must be thinking that what relation did that toy have with Feng's fear? What secret was buried in a mere toy that Feng had this doll named Hello Kitty was scaring people so much that when the police started opening it, they were shocked. There was a human skull inside the toy. Whose human skull was this? Obviously, only Feng had the answer to this. During interrogation, Feng told the police that the skull belonged to 23-year-old fan Man-yee, whose ghost he had been seeing for the past several days. From the recovered skull, it could be understood how painful the death must have been. According to Feng, the spirit of this girl was constantly troubling him, and the only way to get rid of it was to go to the police and tell them the whole truth. When the police started collecting more evidence, apart from the skull, they also recovered a tooth and some internal organs in a plastic bag. But they did not anticipate that they were going to face a case that put humanity to shame. Welcome to the Cursed Hour, and you are listening the case of Hello Kitty. Fan's childhood was neither normal nor easy like other children. At a very young age, her parents put her in an orphanage where there was neither proper education nor cleanliness. If there was anything, it was a never-ending punishment. In Hong Kong, Law Fan had to leave the orphanage at the age of 15. Since she could not study well, she could not find any proper job, due to which she became a sex worker to feed herself out of helplessness at a very young age. Due to this kind of work, she also became an addict. In 1996, in her early 20s, she started working as a bar dancer in a nightclub where she fell in love with one of her clients, Kian, and then they got married. They also had a son. Since both of them were addicted to drugs, there were frequent fights between them. Fan was subjected to physical and mental torture by her husband on a daily basis. After marriage, she had to go through the same things once again that she had endured in the orphanage. In 1997, in order to bear the expenses of her child and herself, Fan returned to prostitution and started working at Cole's Romance Villa Brothers. Here she met 34-year-old Chan Man-lock. Chan was not only a drug dealer but also a member of the Triad. Triad is the largest syndicate of organized crime in Southeast China and Hong Kong. It is a mafia group whose members it was better to stay away from, but because of the kind of work Fan was doing, she became close to Chan. Chan got close to him. Not only did he supply drugs, but he also sent them to high-profile clients for prostitution. Chan was fulfilling both of Fan's needs, money and drugs. With time, Fan's association with Chan and his other friends increased. Fan's life revolved around drugs and prostitution all night long, and gradually she became more comfortable with them. The more distance you have from them, the better it is, because everything was going to change from here. One such night, when they were all drunk, Fan stole about 4,000 Hong Kong dollars from Chan's wallet, thinking that Chan would not be able to find out, but that was wrong. The next morning, after leaving the nightclub, Chan bought drinks for himself from a nearby 7-Eleven store, and as he was about to pay, he realized that it was not his wallet. He suspected that Fan must have done this, so in a fit of rage, he went back to the nightclub and started shouting at Fan. When he started beating him a little, she accepted that she had stolen the money. This mistake of Fan was going to be a headache for her. Chan was a member of the Man-people Triad, so if someone stole money from her, it was a question of her image. So she asked Fan to pay 10,000 Hong Kong dollars with interest. Fan knew that it was normal for Chan to kill someone, and she also knew that she cannot pay such a big amount in one go. So she requested Chan to give her some time so that she can pay the entire amount in installments. Due to the need of money and fear, Fan left the nightclub and went back to the red light area. But for Chan, it was not just about money. It was about ego. After all, how could someone have the guts to steal money from a member of a triad? So, to recover 10,000 Hong Kong dollars and teach Fan a lesson, Chan called two of his triad members, 21-year-old Ling Weiden and 27-year-old Lung Xing. With the help of Chok, they found Fan in a few days and kidnapped her and brought her to an apartment. March 17, 1999. The apartment in which Fan was brought in Gainwell Road was very big in size. This 5-bedroom flat had Hello Kitty merchandise everywhere, i.e. Hello Kitty character was drawn on curtains, bedsheets, walls, even many Hello Kitty dolls were kept there. Chan decided that to recover his money, he would bring his personal clients here and deal with Fan, and Chan did the same. He would sell Fan to different clients every day and keep all the money for himself. But no matter how much Fan earned, she could never return Chan's entire money because Chan would repeatedly increase the interest. Fan would be sold to more clients, but even those money would fall short. So, to vent out their frustration, all the gang members crossed all limits of brutality. Whatever was going to happen to Fan next, she would have never imagined that. The three of them brutally beat up Fan and then beat her so much that she was not able to stand properly on her feet. But this torture was not going to last for just one night. Chan turned this flat into a place of prostitution. He would bring personal clients, and Fan, lying like a corpse after overdose, would be the victim of blood all day. After this, Chan and his companions would take turns to torture her, and when she would scream in pain, they would hit her with whatever they could get their hands on. But after so much torture, they would ask her to laugh, and when she did not laugh, they would beat her even more brutally. Her whole body had turned blue due to the injuries. Bad smell had also started coming from her whole body, due to which regular clients had stopped coming. In their place, such sadistic clients started coming who enjoyed by torturing Fan physically. Every moment was becoming worse than death for Fan, that soon a new person was added to the personal group of the three in that trial. A member named Laming Feng joined the gang, the same girl whom I mentioned in the beginning of the case. It is said that she was the girlfriend of one of Chan's associates, and she also started living in the same apartment with the three members. When Feng saw Fan in a bad condition, she was told that she was being punished for not being able to pay the triad group. It is said that we become like the people we live with. Since Feng was very young, she was easily manipulated in such a way that she also came under their influence and not only started enjoying this brutality but also started torturing Fan herself. A 14-year-old girl was so possessed by the devil that she stopped being able to see the difference between right and wrong. Even after doing so much brutality to Fan, Chan's anger had not subsided, so he started torturing her in new ways. He burnt her feet so that she could not run away. During this time, Fan also became pregnant, but still she was with him. The misbehavior did not stop. When they stopped getting money from the clients, Chan and Fan took out their frustration of this and made torture a means of entertainment. There came a time when even 14-year-old Feng started getting scared after seeing their brutality. Then Chan forcibly pressurized her to watch all this. When they could not get entertainment from the TV, the three of them would tie her with an electric wire and hang her from the ceiling. After that, they would leave her hanging in the same condition all night and play video games and watch movies in the other room. All this went on all day. There was hardly any part of Fan's body left that had not touched the limits of pain. Almost a month had passed, and due to the extreme brutality done to her, she was forced to live like a living corpse. She was fed human excreta. She would faint from pain and hunger every now and then. Her body was completely affected by the deep wounds. Fan's husband was tired of finding out about her everywhere, but no one had any news of Fan. He was just hoping that maybe Fan was back from work. She must have gone out and will return one day on her own. April 3, 1999, after locking Fan in the bathroom in an unconscious state, everyone went out to party. When Feng returned at night and went to the washroom, she saw that Fan had stopped breathing. After so many days of torture, Fan had finally died. Now the biggest challenge for all of them was to dispose of his body, but they could not decide how to do it. The next day, as per the method told by Chan, they put the body in a bar tub and cut it into small pieces. They started boiling the pieces so that the road does not stink. 10 hours passed in doing all this, and everyone started feeling hungry, so it was decided to make noodles. Shockingly, these noodles were being made in the same burner in which Fan's head was boiling, and not only this, the same spoon was being used to stir the head and noodles. Just imagine what these people would be like in human form. By the time everyone finished eating, Fan's head had boiled and only the skull was left. Some internal organs and one of his teeth were kept in a plastic bag, but they were unable to figure out where to hide Feng's skull. Then their eyes fell on a doll named Hello Kitty. Chan put the skull inside the same mermaid doll and sewed it and disposed of the rest of the body parts and waste in different places. Chan also threatened Feng to keep his mouth shut about this matter forever, or else the same fate would meet him. But Feng was not able to forget that incident. She was constantly haunted by Fan's screams. The things that Feng had taken lightly had turned into a horrifying scene. Considering her age, this memory was no less than a curse. In reality, it was not Fan's ghost, but the guilt hidden inside Feng that was not letting her live. When this pain became unbearable, finally she mustered up the courage and informed the police. Fan's necklace was also recovered from the information. The police finally caught all three, but not even one of them confessed to their crime. On the contrary, they argued in court that Fan was drunk and she died of a drug overdose. Since they did not want to get caught in any kind of police case, they decomposed the body. The defense counsel of the three accused challenged the prosecution's evidence, saying that the entire case was based on the testimony of a minor girl, and no one was sure how reliable her statements were. According to the judicial system of 1999, the only evidence against them was the skull of Fan found inside the Hello Kitty doll. which could be identified by photo overlapping method. Payroll appeal could not be made since Feng had become a government witness, so she was given immunity in this case. At present, Chan Man and Lung Malin are serving their sentence in Stanley Prison. But the story does not end here. In 2004, the sentence of one of their accomplices, Ling Shishu, was reduced to 18 years on the basis of an appeal application, due to which he was released in 2014, but after 8 years in 2022, he was again sentenced to 1 year in the case of assaulting a 10-year-old girl. From this incident, you can guess that even after serving 18 years of sentence, there was no change in their nature. The psychiatric report of Castle P Hospital and Si Lam Hospital described all three as remorseless in the year 2004. In 1974, Fan's skull was handed over to her husband for the last rites. The apartment building where Fan was kept was demolished in 2012, and a hotel was built in its place in 2016. To know why this doll became famous by the name of Hello Kitty, let us understand the history of Hello Kitty doll. The Hello Kitty character was created by Yuko Shijo in 1974. In 1975, the first Hello Kitty item, a small vinyl purse, was released, which was sold out instantly, and its sale was so high that the Hello Kitty character became a trend in the 1970s. Snow Pea and Mickey Mouse, which were dog and mouse-based characters, were very popular all over the world. Therefore, the Sanrio company developed the Hello Kitty character based on a cat and capitalized on the girl culture that rose in the 1970s. The demand for Hello Kitty dolls and dolls started happening all over the world. Hello Kitty dolls, which were known for kindness and fun, unfortunately, her name has been linked to this horrific crime. Celebrations are also going on in Hong Kong to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Hello Kitty character in 2024. The Hello Kitty murder case is still taught in popular literature and academics of big universities. If we look at the history of Hong Kong and Triad, in 1990, Sim Shei Sui of Hong Kong was a tourist area, but the reputation of this place was not good among the locals. In fact, the entire Cologne city was under the control of Triad. It looked like a market of high-end hotels and designer stores, but for the people there, it was a hub of black market promotion and other high-profile crimes behind which Triad was mainly involved, but cases like homicide were exceptionally rare in Hong Kong, and no Triad member had ever been involved in such crimes before this. Triad is a Chinese transnational criminal organization whose illegal business runs in many countries. From 1970 to late 1990, there was a lot of terror of Triad in Hong Kong, and no one could dare to go against them. But with time, the changes in law and government policies tightened the reins on Triad, but could not completely eliminate Triad. However, in today's time, Triad has changed its mode of operation. Now Triad largely involved in loan sharks and film-making industry. Lower-level members of the Triad threaten small business owners and extort money in the name of protection fees, and their bosses invest that money in film production companies. This is not a small amount. Triads invest millions of dollars in the movie industry. That is why Triads have a lot of influence in the global popularity of Hong Kong crime cinema. Movies like Human Pork Chop and There's a Secret in My Soup have also been made based on this case. Hello Kitty murder case is also an example of how a person can influence behavior. When 14-year-old teenage witness Feng was asked why she was enjoying the process by torturing Fan, she said that her obsession of watching violent movies and listening to violent music since childhood has erased her understanding of human emotions to a great extent. This case is like a mirror that shows many faces of the society. This shows that people in the society are living in such isolation that in a crowded area a girl was imprisoned and tortured for so many weeks, but no one had any inkling, and I think even if someone had the slightest doubt, no one would have cared. This case is relevant even in today's time because today small children have uncontrolled access to social media and internet, which is becoming more of a weapon of self-destruction for them than a tool. A weapon which is slowly snatching childhood from the children. If you like this video, do subscribe this channel for daily crime cases.